I want to talk about three books that helped me transform my life. Now, if you're new here, I just want to say thank you for coming in and tuning in. And if you're not new here, thank you for following my YouTube channel. And I would like to say, please subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel, comment, talk to me. I talk back. That's how I'm going to know like what you all want to hear, what are your thoughts on things. But make sure you subscribe to the channel. And I want to talk about three books that helped transform my life. I like to read books for personal development and personal development. And I think it go hand in hand. For you to grow personally, you got to grow personally first before you can even grow professionally. I just think those two things are, you can use it interchangeably. And there is no particular order. Like, what I know for sure is not one of my favorite ones, and that's why I posted first. There's just no particular order. Matter of fact, it is an order. Matter of fact, it is an order. And the great thing about these three books that helped me with transformation, they all are free. So you can get all of these books on YouTube University. I read Oprah, What I Know for Sure, like twice. I started that book in 2016 when I was in graduate school. I had picked up back reading because sometimes you get so consumed in academics that you don't have no free time. And anywhere that I moved, I always had a library card. So I'm an avid reader. I always love reading. So Oprah book, What I Know for Sure. I read this book 4 times. I just read this the fourth time 2 weeks ago on YouTube University. You can go get it from YouTube. It's there. And I was taking notes. Eat the Frog helped me pass my test in conjunction with the mentor. And most importantly, God. This book helped me get serious. And so I'm going to go over it. I'm going to break it down for you all. And you can apply these things to your life as well to help you. So even if you're not a reader, these tips that I'm going to go through and go over, you can apply it to your life if you're trying to transform. And I'm gonna let you know what I know for sure, and that's gonna help you with transformation. So I'm gonna talk about the nuggets that I took and gems that I got from each book that helped me. Now, what I know for sure is from Oprah Winfrey. And the reason why I wanted to make like a presentation, because I want to make sure that you all are picking up what I'm putting down. And I know that people have different, we're not in school or anything, but people have different ways that they process information. I'm just trying to make sure that you get what you need to process it. So, what I know for sure was a book about Oprah talking about different lessons that happened in her life and what she know for sure. The biggest thing that I picked up from that book, but I don't know why, but I know it was something on it, was gratitude. So because of Oprah book, it helped me to be grateful for things. It helped me pick up a gratitude book. So I got my gratitude book from Ross at the time, and I still have my pink gratitude book. And when you write down things that you are grateful for, or even just verbally say it, sometimes some people may not want to have different books. You have notes in your iPhone or whatever phone that you have, you can write it down. Because sometimes I run out of pages in my books because I like to write. So I will verbalize what I'm grateful for. I will find something else. If it's not my gratitude book to pick up, I will record it in my phone verbally, or I will also write it in my notes. But I picked up the attitude of gratitude. Now, this thing works. Let me tell you about gratitude. There are times where I would come home from work and I was tired, too exhausted to cook. My dad would be like, there was a time my dad was like, I'm outside with wings, all flat. He know his girl real well. I love flat wings, so I didn't have to cook. One time I'm at home, my mama knocked on the door. She had crafted crabs for me. If you know me, I love seafood. And the perfume, what the perfume called? La Vie Belle. If you know Lancome La Vie Belle perfume, them more than ones. And if you don't have that, please pick it up. Get that. I love Lancome La Vie Belle perfume. And I used to write, honestly, and don't overthink gratitude. I think sometimes people overthink it. It can be the smallest thing. So at the time, I was living in an apartment complex in Tallahassee. And certain apartment complex, it's hard to find parking or limited parking. I used to write things like, I'm grateful for finding my parking space. I'm grateful for being able to put gas in my car. Or the things that my mom do or my dad do for me. I put that in the gratitude book. What my friends do or say, I put in the gratitude book. And everything is not about like monetary. Sometimes I write down things I'm grateful for, lessons, blessings. For instance, I was grateful for going to the best HBCU, FAMU. I was grateful for that moment because I met some amazing people. So things doesn't have to be monetary that you write down that you're grateful for. It could be moments, it could be opportunities, it could be lessons, it could be blessings. Gratitude is not that hard. So from that book, I picked up writing gratitude, things that I'm grateful for, and that's how I was able to attract more things. Everything be aligned for me. So what I know for sure, now Oprah wrote down what she know for sure. And I'm gonna tell you what I know for sure based on just life circumstances. Change is uncomfortable. If it don't challenge you, it won't change you. So don't get comfortable with doing the things that you're currently doing. So, for instance, if you want to transform, it may be uncomfortable for you to start writing or showing things that you're grateful for or reading a book or picking it up. But if you want to transform, you got to. And I forgot to write one of my favorite lessons down, but let me tell you something else that I know for sure. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you want to change, what are you changing? Sometimes you got to switch up your routine. Change what you indulging in. Maybe you got to even change the way you walk. Change the way you talk. Not you as a person, but your language, what you're picking up, what you're doing. But if it don't challenge you, it don't change you. You got to jump. You got to have that leap of faith. So change happens outside of your comfort zone. That's what I noticed. Change happens out of your comfort zone. That's what I know for sure. What I know for sure is everything is working out for my greater good. And that's Romans 8:28. That's one of my favorite Bible verses. I'm gonna say that a lot of times because that's my favorite Bible verse. I was born on 8:28, and everything is working out for my greater good. So in that moment, you may not realize that you're probably wondering why things are not working out for you or coming the time that you wanted or when you prayed for it. But you got to know and believe that everything is working out for your greater good. And that's on God. That's on the biggest, the largest. I know for what I know for sure, everything is working out for including Irvin's greater good. And that's how you can look at it and apply to your life. Sometimes we want things and we're not ready for what we ask for or pray for if you're being real honest with yourself. Because there are times where there were things I prayed for and I either get lazy, procrastinate, or do something. I'm like, you just not you folding on what you just prayed for. How you gonna fold on what you prayed for? So I have to pull myself up by the bootstrap. So everything is working out for my greater good. So that lets me be okay with no's, rejections. And certain things are not no's, it's just not right now. And certain things is a no. Write it down and watch it manifest. You don't have a journal, you don't have a book. It doesn't you can get a book from a Dollar Tree, a dollar store. I pick up things that resonates with me. It depends on what's on the cover. And I write it down. The things that I've accomplished in life, I wrote it down. My mom used to give me sticky notes in college. So when she first used to send them, I'm like, why is she sending me all these sticky notes? I never used to use them. But now I use those sticky notes. So there are sticky notes, there are journals, there are things that I write down and I date it. And that's a good thing to do for reflection because it shows you like, dang, I remember this time I wrote this down. Or you know how you like, I remember that time I used to pray for this. Now I'm living in my manifestation of the things that I wrote down. So I like writing things down and watching it manifest because there are times that I forget, like, girl, God just did something amazing. I'm like, but really nothing ain't coming through for me right now. And I'm like, girl, didn't you just do this, and that? So writing it down helped me like reflect. Oh yeah, if there's a will, there's a way. And I mean this by saying don't limit yourself. If there's a will, just know that there's a way for you to get it or accomplish it. You got to find your way around barriers. So, for instance, when I started podcasting at first, I didn't have all those equipment what people had. I had my phone. I picked up my phone. I used the app. Use what you have. If there's a will for something, I know there's a way. And I feel like opportunities for me is limitless. Can't nothing stop me but me. And me stopping me look like procrastination or just sitting on ideas. But I know that if there's a will, there's a way to get to something that you need. Or there's somebody that knows something about it. So with that being said, if there's a will, there's a way, and your opportunities are limitless. There is power in the tongue. So you have to be mindful of what you're speaking over yourself and others. And that resonates with me that there's power in the tongue because so I speak it, so it is. So the things that I accomplished, I used to say it all the time. I always used to say that I wanted to live in Atlanta. When I was in graduate school, I said I wanted to be a school-based therapist. I did that. A lot of things that I said, and sometimes when I'm on phone with my friend Ashley, she'd be like, "Oh, Miss Now, I remember you said you want to do this." I'm like, "Yeah." So a lot of things that I spoke it into existence. You got to speak things into existence and believe that it's gonna happen in divine timing. So that's what I know for sure. Now I meant to put an S at the end, the four agreements, but look, we're not gonna let that mistake stop me from getting out what I want to write to you all. So the four agreements, one of the best book I read. I think I'm gonna read it more than four times. And each time that I read it, it was something different that stood out. Now, how the four agreements help me, the four agreements are be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, and always do your best. Now, when I first read it, it was good for me with the don't take anything personally and don't make assumptions. My boundaries used to be so rigorous. I saw everything as black and white. So I use don't make assumptions. I like to tell people don't let your mind go where your body is not present. So it's so easy for us to make assumptions. Say for instance, someone may not answer your call. If you're in a relationship, friendship, whatever it is, I'm gonna an example of relationships because that's one of the biggest things that people talk about. What if your partner don't answer the phone? And you may be like, oh, they might be with somebody or something. But sometimes you want the intuition, right? But we're not talking about that today. Don't make assumptions. Just maybe this person sleep. Maybe and if a friend not answer, maybe your friend over there fighting for their lives. Like we just don't know what people going through, so we're not gonna make assumptions. Don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Like ask questions before making assumptions. It said communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstanding, sadness, and drama. That's a big one. Don't make assumptions. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. It really can. Like this helped me a lot. But sometimes I be forgetting that agreement and be making assumptions. Now, when I read this book, it didn't transform it completely. Now, I'm being honest, I ain't a saint, but I swear it does help me with certain things. Don't take anything personally. Now that one, it helped me so well in the workplace. Like anything that people do in the workplace, I know that it has nothing to do with me. I do not let people project their insecurities, their limits, or anything on me. Don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. So an example is you may have a boss that yell at you, or you may have a boss that always you feel like on you. That has nothing to do with you. That's their stuff that they're bringing into the workplace. And the reason I'm giving that as an example because a lot of people talk about workplace, going through things in their workplace. So I just wanted to talk about things that were relatable. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of their needless suffering. So like whatever person a person is doing to you, it's like you're not taking it personally. Because once you personalize it, you sitting with it. These people out living their whole life and you personalizing those things and making it hard for yourself. Be impeccable with your words. Speak with integrity. Same thing like I mentioned earlier. Some of these books go hand in hand. speaking with life and death is in the tongue and being powerful about what you speak with. So I use that to speak things into existence for me. Say only what you mean. And we went over that one. Always do your best. Always do your best. I'm gonna use this as an example of why always doing your best matters. So when I was a school-based therapist, I know I felt like my time there was served. I wanted to go to community-based. My job allowed me to go to community-based. They didn't want to lose me as a worker. As I transitioned to my new position, before I got there, they wanted to know, what can we do? They was like, hold on, just give us one more day. Let me speak to someone. What can we do? Because when I'm at the workplace, I always do my best. Now, granted, every day is not going to be 100. There are times people may get sick. There may times something may just happen. You can't always perform at that level. But more times than often, try to do your best. Always do your best. My current job, I asked for something, I received it. Not only because I asked, because I always do my best. So always do your best. Try that. Challenge yourself to work on one of these agreements. That's your homework. Try to work on one of these agreements. It's a great book, but read it for yourself. Now, those just a few talking points from that book. But again, once you read it, there's going to be something that resonates with you that you can use. Eat the Frog. I don't even know how I found that book. I think somebody was talking about it on Twitter. And the crazy thing is, I screenshot things, and I already had a screenshot of that book in my pictures. So I'm like, let me go listen to this book because I didn't want to buy it. Sometimes before I go buy books, I go see if it's on YouTube. Eat the Frog. I wrote down two, three talking points, but to be honest with you, this book helped me so much. So at the time, there was a few things that I wanted to do. I wanted to work from home. I wanted a job that was going to be flexible. I wanted to be paid more. I had other things that I want to work on. And so I'm like, what? It just seemed so overwhelming to where I don't know where to start because there's so many things that I want to do. I don't know where to start. But in Eat the Frog, it said tackle your most important task first. But after being so overwhelmed, I broke it down to like, oh, if I get my license, this will afford me the flexibility to be able to work from home, get different jobs that are looking for therapists. Because a lot of jobs that I saw remotely, they want you to be licensed. And I knew license would afford me to be getting paid more. Being paid more would be able afford me to be working on different things that I want to work for in my business. So that was what I needed to do first. Take my exam, but tackle your most important task first. So at that time, my most important tasks were studying for that test. So I thought I would never be a 5 a.m. girl. Around that time, that's when I became a 5 a.m. girl. So I worked in the elementary school as a school-based therapist that took in at 7:30. So I woke up at 5 to give myself an hour to study before I get to work. Because sometimes when you come from work, you could be drained. Different things may take place. You get lazy. You don't want to do anything. So I made sure that I tackled my most important task first. So I studied the beginning of the day. So I had the rest of the day to myself to work and whatever else needed to be done. But I knew that I tackled the most important thing, which was studying. And so also I studied when I got from work too, or while I was at work. But it was like, be intentional about your goals. So it's one thing to be like, you know what, I want to pass this test, and I'm gonna use myself as an example. So I had to be intentional. Like, okay, it's one thing to say I want to pass the test, I want to take the test. You solidify it when you pay for it. And intentional meaning like what I just did. I was getting up early, I was studying before work. And I learned be intentional from Celeste the therapist and also from D. She's a licensed clinical social worker. So what that looked like for me was, okay, I'm going to study. We say we're going to study. What does studying look like? 10 hours a week. So I used to study 10 hours a week, which looked like 2 hours a day. So that was before work either after work or during work. I was intentional about getting my study in. So you got to be intentional about your goals. I was intentional about setting the hours that I was going to study. I created like a whole schedule. So weekdays, I studied. Sundays, I took the practice test. I created a schedule for myself. Monday through Sunday. Saturday was a free day for me. So Monday through Thursday, I studied, which was 8 hours a day. And then on that Sunday, I used the other 2 hours, which make 10 hours a day, to use for a practice test. And when I did that, I passed my state board test. I had to lock in, and I did that within 3 weeks. I did this within 3 weeks. I got off of social media. As bad as I wanted to be on TikTok or anything else, I had to eliminate distractions. I had to be serious. I wanted it. You got to want it, to win it, and we want it bad. So be intentional. You may not go pick up the book, eat the frog, but what I just explained to you, what I did to my life. What is your frog? And I want you to reflect on that. What is your frog? What is this thing that you're trying to accomplish in your life? You got to tackle that first. You got to be intentional. You got to schedule it, or it's not gonna happen. That need to be your non-negotiable. You know that say if you get off at 5:30, you come home, you may want to eat, take a shower. You know that 8 o'clock, I need to be working on whatever it is that you're doing your work hours when you got free hours before work. But it's not gonna happen unless you create a schedule and be intentional about making steps towards it. And last but not least, thank you. Thank you if you stood in here and listened to this. Because again, from that book, Oprah, it taught me the attitude of gratitude. So anytime somebody shares something that's related that I put out, listen to something, whatever it is you do, I'm grateful for it. And you can find me on Twitter, the Prolific Therapist, Instagram, Prolific Mind Wellness. And just keep in mind, and I forgot what I know for sure, you got to pay to play. And that looks like investing in yourself. So as I mentioned earlier about being intentional, if there's goals, if you're trying to start your own business, if you do hair, nails, whatever it is that you're doing, or you in school, you got to pay for your books, whatever you're doing, like a mentor, you got to pay to play. And I do that as well. I pay for consultation before, just for someone to sit down with me for 30 minutes. But I paid her that price because the jewels that she gave to me, I carried that. It helped me with my business. Now, if there's something in your life that you're trying to accomplish, but it could be your self-limiting beliefs that getting you in the way. It can be that you think that you don't have some resources. So if you want to connect with me and have consultation where I can help you and we will create a plan for you towards this goal or wherever it is that you're trying to accomplish, I have consultation services. I do not respond to DMs when it relates to business because what I know for sure, you got to keep business business and nothing personal. So you would have to contact me on my website for consultation services. And also, this is my QR code. Go to the website, check it out.